Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Fizan Ali Software Wala, 11th Minute School, Islamabad campus. So today we are honored to welcome Mike Armstrong Sir, widely known as the Welsh Dragon, a successful entrepreneur, business leader, coach, podcaster, and author from Wales. And Mike has built scaled businesses mentored entrepreneurs, shared valuable business insights through books and podcasts, and continues to inspire people through his popular Far From the Welsh Dragon and content series. So let's start. First of all, hi, sir, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to meet you, and looking forward to your good questions.
Great. So my first question from you is that please introduce yourself to my audience because my some of my audience don't know about you, about your life journey. So please tell to our viewers.
Yeah, well, I'm an entrepreneur, coach, speaker, author. You know everything you said in the introduction. But I'm an entrepreneur by sort of trade. Really, I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 11. I've had jobs as well as side hustles all my life. And my jobs have always been in sales and sales and marketing and that sort of thing, sales management, sales directorship, sales and marketing consultancy. And so I've always considered any job I had like an entrepreneurial venture because in sales and marketing, you get out of it what you put into it. So it's just like being self-employed or entrepreneurial. You know, if you work hard, if you learn, develop, and grow, you'll earn more money. And the more you learn, the more you earn. And if you gain expertise and experience over time, then your value increases and you can sell more and you can make more money, etc. But life's not always just about making money. It's about trying to make a difference and trying to make impact and maybe leave a legacy and leave the planet in a better place than you found it when you started. So my journey's always been about, you know, helping others. It's been about trying to master the game of life. And, you know, after leaving employed jobs, which I always mentally considered as self-employed jobs, I decided to go self-employed and work on, you know, my long-term goals. I want to become a global speaker. I'm already a speaker, a content creator, a podcaster, an author. I do all the things I need to do to achieve the goals I want to achieve. And I've spent my life, you know, pointing and working towards those long-term goals. But I also, you know, I'm opportunist. I look for opportunities that come my way. You know, I try and teach others what I've learned because it's always good to give back and to share to others. Um, and I just enjoy life. You know, you only got one life, so you might as well enjoy it doing what you enjoy doing, rather than spending it, you know, working a job you hate, and you know, you don't look forward to turning up to on a Monday. You know, you're better off picking something that you can make money from and that you enjoy, and just consistently go through life working and improving and getting better in that area. So that's a bit about me. Looking forward to some more of your questions.
Okay, that's really great and nice your introduction. So my next question from you is that what was your childhood like growing up in Wales? So let's say our guest is leave. I can ask him to join our interview again. So wait for
I took a phone.
yes, sir.
Sorry, I took a phone call and it interrupted the Zoom. So sorry, but I accidentally pressed accept when meant to press delete or busy. But that's all
Not,
right.
not.
The question again, and you should be able to edit it together.
I asked the question that what was your childhood like growing up in Wales?
So I would say I had a pretty good childhood. I was quite good academically, and I was quite good at sports. And so, you know, life was quite good for me when I was young. My mum and dad did get divorced when I was 8, so I was raised by a single mum for a while, and I guess they were some tougher years financially. But that's probably what gave me the drive and the need to go into entrepreneurships at such a young age because I started at the age of 11. and it gave me the independence, the confidence, the self belief to be able to do good things all through my life. Because I started young, and when you're young, you learn and adapt and evolve quickly. So it's a great time to start something when you're young, and you can take big risks in life as well because there's not a lot of dependence on you, so you don't have to be less risky and more cautious. You can take bigger risks. So my childhood was fun. I enjoyed it. I was successful. I achieved, and I think when you achieve when you're young, you go on to achieve through your life because you know how to achieve and you know how to gain levels of success. And I had a good childhood, and I used to hustle as a youngster, buying and selling things and spotting gaps in the market. I used to do multiple jobs like paper rounds and work for my uncle's salvage yard. And at the age of 15, I went into my first sales job, and I've been in sales ever since. And most entrepreneurs who are in business, they don't understand that they might think that they're a chef, a plumber, an AI person, a Canva worker, whatever. But in order to be successful in business, you need to be good at sales and marketing. So actually, the first job you should see yourself as having when you're an entrepreneur and when you're in business is being a salesperson, because ultimately the successful businesses are the ones who bring on more and more customers and new customers all of the time, and the unsuccessful businesses and the businesses that fail, especially in their first 5 years, they often fail because of cash flow reasons, because they're not bringing in enough customers. So the most important skill you can develop in business is the ability to market and sell. And if you can, crack that skill set, then you'll have a good business and you'll have a good career. You'll have a good life.
That's really good one, and I really learned from your childhood growing up. So, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
So, like I said, my mum and dad divorced when I was 8. So, out of necessity, if I wanted to have and do some of the things I wanted to do in life, I needed to work hard and make my own money because I was raised by a single mum. She did the best she could, but money was tight. I come from a working class background, so I wanted more out of life than just what life had given me as a start. So I decided to work hard and develop and grow in various areas. And entrepreneurship was a natural thing for me, I think, because I was good at building friendships as a kid. I was good at connecting with people. And, when you're selling things and that, it's good to be able to build relationships and build trust and rapport with people. So people's skills are important. I was good at connecting with people. I was intelligent, so I was opportunist and I could solve problems and gaps in market and various different things like that, which are all important as an entrepreneur. Um, and I was inspired by people like Sir Richard Branson at the time, who was a young entrepreneur making good money and enjoying life, having fun whilst doing it. And one of my life mottos is to work hard and play hard. I think if you work hard, but in an area that you enjoy and you're passionate about, it doesn't really feel like work anyway. It's having fun. I like business, music, and sport as three areas of life I'm interested in. And I have an event marketing brand which markets business, music, and sports events. And I run a bar, hotel, and event venue which puts on business, music, and sports events. So I'm passionate about what I do. It doesn't feel like work. I can put in long hours. I enjoy it, and I have fun whilst doing it. So yeah, that's some of the things I learned early on. So I was in a place where I needed to make money. I had the skill sets to do it. I had the drive and the ambition, and I was inspired by some different people who were doing it on a good basis. And I thought, well, yeah, I could do that. That's the sort of life I want to live. So it was a mixture of different things, really, that pointed me towards a life of entrepreneurialism.
Okay, that's really great. So, my next question from you is, when did you first realize you wanted to run on your own business?
Well, like I said, I started at 11, and I wasn't running a business, but I was a self-employed person hustling and making money for myself. Um, Then I went into a job in sales at 15, whilst I was in the gap between school and starting college. All I ever wanted to be since I was 11 was like an MD of a company or an MD of my own company. So once I'd started a career in sales, I realized that going to university wasn't going to be the best route for me to become an MD of a company or my own company. It would just put me into debt, and I would learn about certain things, but I would be behind the curve of those that went already gone to work. So I made a difficult choice because I was capable of going to university, but I made a difficult choice not to go to university. I think university is great when you have to get the qualifications you need to have the job or career you want. But if you don't need to go to university to learn the skills that you need, then you can just apply those in the real world and get a head start on those that do go to university. So I think it's important to make important decisions in life, around what it is you're actually trying to achieve and what you're trying to do and the problem you're trying to solve, rather than what other people tell you or what they're trying to solve or what they're trying to achieve. It's important to achieve what you're trying to achieve and make the choices and decisions in life that are important, and that you care about and you're passionate about. Um, so I decided I was in a world of sales. I was on the pathway to where I wanted to be anyway. So then I sort of started going to college less, and I started working more. And when I finished my college, I went into full time work, and I've been doing that ever since. And I've always continued to grow and develop and learn and adapt and evolve. And I think that's important in life and in business. And if you can adapt to the latest technologies, the latest techniques, the latest products, services, the latest solutions, whatever, then you're always going to be at the top of your game. You're always going to be cutting edge. You're always going to be able to compete with other people. If you don't adapt, evolve, develop, then you're going to be falling behind the curve of the people who are adapting and are changing and are evolving, etc. So yeah, that was it really. I've always wanted to be an MD of a company. I worked my way up. I got promoted 9 times in 6 years in one company, and I was one under the MD for about 4 years. I was up then for the MD job. I didn't get it. It was out of two people, and I didn't get it. So then I started my own sales and marketing consultancy business because I thought, well, I've done the journey to being an MD in a company. I didn't quite get there. I was one step removed. Now I'm going to start becoming the MD of my own business. I wanted to live life on my terms and not on the terms of, my boss or whoever I work for. So I decided to go self-employed. I've been doing that for about 15 years now. And I'm working on my long-term goal of becoming a global speaker. And I'm doing all sorts of things in the meantime, which are helping me, get to the long-term goal that I'm working on.
That's really great and wonderful life journey and your business style. I really like it. So, why do people know you as the Welsh Dragon?
Well, I'm Welsh and I'm fiery, I'm passionate, I'm energetic, which, all sort of helped, if you like, with my nickname. But when I was on Clubhouse in 2020, um, I used to, Clubhouse is an audio social media platform, and you have a profile. There's no images or pictures of you, just one profile image. And I put the Welsh flag in my background on my profile so that people would be able to recognize me from Wales and from wherever in the world they would know I was Welsh, because I'm very proud to be Welsh and I'm very Welsh patriotic. So people used to say, look out for the Welsh Dragon and that sort of thing when I set up rooms and when I set up events. And it become just, a nickname really. And then at the same sort of time, I wanted to become a global speaker and I was working on my own personal brand. And so it fitted what I wanted to do and what I wanted to achieve. It's good to have a personal brand that makes you stand out. And so the Welsh Dragon nickname was given to me and I started using it myself, and it fit in what I do and who I am. And so that's what I use now. And I have a Fire from the Welsh Dragon series, and I like to inspire entrepreneurs by breathing fire into them via the form of inspiration, motivation, and educational content. So just I didn't really choose the name. The name chose me, but it fitted, and I've been using it ever since.
Okay, that's really great one. So, what does the nickname mean to you personally? Tell me about this related to this question.
Well, I think being Welsh and being a Welsh dragon, the nickname is important to me because one, it covers my cultural heritage, etc. But the Welsh dragon is about a small nation coming together to compete and overcome serious invaders and that sort of thing. And I'm about people, and I'm about bringing people together. I'm super connector. I like to help people, as many people as I can. So the Welsh dragon, is my country emblem, but it's sort of it shows and stands for solidarity and people coming together to overcome obstacles, and it's about passion and fire, energy, and I'm all about motivation and inspiration, as well as, more importantly, education, because it's okay being motivated and inspired to do something, but sometimes you need the knowledge, the skills, the expertise to actually get there. And so the fire from the Welsh Dragon series and my nickname is just about, standing up from a crowd, owning who I am and what I am, and, trying to inspire other people, with a good personal brand that people will then think, this man, he knows what he's talking about, he's passionate and enthusiastic, and is somebody I should listen to and learn from, because that's all I'm trying to do is help other people. And sometimes in life you have to help yourself, so you have to reach out to mentors and to other people, and you have to want to learn. And if you want to learn, no, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I can tell people that they should do this, should do that, or this is good knowledge for them, or this is good applications or skills for them. But unless you want to actually implement them in your life, unless you want to make change, unless you want to learn from other people, it doesn't mean anything. So, it's good to have something which inspires and motivates people to want to learn, because I've got a lot of stuff I want to teach. And if people want to learn, I'm there willing to share whatever I've learned, so that you can accelerate your learning and your growth, and hopefully get further than wherever I've ever been in life. I've achieved a lot in my life. I've got a lot more I want to achieve, but I want to help other people achieve what they want to achieve. And I want to help people live a life, that they want to live, rather than one that's thrust upon them by society, by school, by parents, by other people. There's a lot of people living a life they don't want to live because it was forced upon them or chosen for them. And I think, it's much better to live a life that's authentic to you, and that what you choose and what you want and how you want to be and how you want to live, rather than what someone else has chosen for you.
Okay, so my next question from you is that, looking back, what is one defining moment that changed your life?
I think there's lots of moments that happen in your life that change them. I think COVID, and lockdown and all that was a big moment in my life, because I went on a podcast, and they did a bit of regression and took me right the way through my life, and I never really looked backwards. I always looked forward. I'm always looking at the next thing and the next opportunity. But I went through my life and looked at and analysed some of the key moments in my life and what decisions I made and why I made them. And that helped me clarify my why. My why is why I wake up every day and do the things I do. I always thought my why was, to crack the game of life, to be successful, and to enjoy life, and to work in the area of problem solving and entrepreneurship. But actually, I realized I just like helping people. And so that clarified some things for me during COVID. And I did a lot of helping of people during COVID. And I've done a lot of helping of people since then. So that was one defining moment. A couple of years ago, I went to help somebody in their business as a bit of a consultant. And I ended up running a hotel for a year. And now I run a hotel bar and event venue. So that was a defining moment that changed my life. I went to help somebody, and it put me onto a different course in my life for a while. Um, There's numerous things, stepping stones in life. I call them sliding door moments, where things happen and it maybe changes the direction of your life, or it gives you some clarity and it gives you some focus on a different area. Um, my divorce, I learned a lot from that. Going self-employed. There's lots of decisions, big decisions, choosing not to go to university and go into full-time sales. These are some of life's signpost moments, and they're big decisions. And the effect of the decision you make can shape the next 10, 20, 30, 50 years of your life. So they're important moments, and that's why you should consider them, think about them, and go with your gut feeling and go with what you truly believe in, and not what maybe someone else is trying to convince you to do. You should make the choices for yourself with guidance, with feedback from others, but ultimately it's your choices, it's your life, and so they should be what you choose and what you want to do.
That's really great. So my next question from you, that what was the first business you ever started?
So the first official business, I used to buy and sell sweets and matches and things like that. It wasn't really a business; it was just a hustle. I also used to record Sky movies and sell them to the kids in school on VHS tape. So these were like little sort of hustles. But the first business venture I went to on my own, just after finishing in sales from 16 to 21, I started my own nightclub promotional business. I was about 23. An opportunity come my way. A night I used to go to on a Friday night finished, and I knew the DJs, I knew door staff and receptionists and various different people. And a friend of mine was running a restaurant, and it had a basement underneath, which was able to run a nightclub from. So I actually started my own nightclub. Had all the people in place. So I did that for about a year. I run my own nightclub promotional business and did my own events, my own nightclub events. I was only working one day a week. On a Friday, I was doing a Friday night event, and the rest of the week I was just marketing the event and letting people know about it. And I probably would have done that for the rest of my life, but the restaurant that I was operating under got sold. Um, I quite enjoyed the nightlife, and I enjoyed hospitality and that. I'm in hospitality now, but more sort of day to night time rather than just night time. But I enjoyed it and probably would have stayed in that all my life. But the place I was doing it under got sold, so I had to do something else. I ended up going into a fintech startup business, back into the sales world, and I was in that for the next 10 years. And I've been in sales and marketing pretty much all my life since then and before then. And I'm now in the hospitality business, but I'm still in sales and marketing ultimately. And that's what my expertise is in. I've been in sales and marketing since I was 11 in various different forms and guises. So I've got lots of knowledge, lots of experience. I've done various different industries, various different jobs. So I'm an expert in that area. And I've taken a long time to become an expert in that area, but I've consistently worked in that area. And so now I feel I can teach people in that area because it's something I've had a lot of knowledge, experience, and lessons in my entire life. And I've learned a lot of things other people haven't learned. So I'm always willing to share what I've learned with others so that they can accelerate their own growth and their own businesses and their own entrepreneurial journey, because being an entrepreneur is a great thing, but it's also quite a lonely thing sometimes. There's not many other people understand you and where you come from and what you're trying to achieve and what your vision is, etc. So if you can get mentors or other people who are looking to work with you or help you or collaborate or give you some guidance, anything like that, that's a great thing to have for a young entrepreneur, because it's going to help you to achieve what you're trying to achieve much quicker. In the Rehan school, you're all peers working in the same area, so you can all bounce ideas off each other and all of that. And you've got great leaders and educators who are teaching you the skills you need in life. So that's great. But it's also good to have mentors in other areas of life, maybe that you're not being taught in school, because the more you learn, the more you earn, the more you develop and grow, the better you can become as a business owner and as an entrepreneur.
Okay, so At interview last, you have any advice to my audience? Yes.
Yeah, my advice is in life is to be patient, to be consistent, keep showing up, keep developing, keep growing, have a growth mindset, work on your own mindset. Because if you believe you can, you're halfway there. And if you believe you can't, then you won't get there. So it's all about your mindset. It's all about building your self confidence, building your resilience, building your self belief, and you can do that through incremental journeys, incremental steps. And if you're persistent and you're consistent and you don't let anything knock you off course because you're determined and you're passionate to get to where you want to get to, I believe you can achieve anything you want to in life. You've just got to put the plan in place and work the plan. And sometimes you've got to develop yourself into the person capable of achieving what you're trying to achieve, or you've got to connect and collaborate with other people. But you can get to wherever you want to if you're willing to give it the work, put the time in, continue the development and the growth. So that would be one of the things I always like to try and teach people is that, you can dream it, you can achieve it, you can have it, you can do it, but you got to be prepared to develop and grow and connect with people and build relationships. And eventually, if you're patient, you'll get to wherever you want to in life. So go for it, do what you want to do, achieve what you want to achieve, and have the life that you deserve, and not a life that's thrust upon you that you will regret when it comes to your deathbed. You know.
Okay, so you were this our today's guest. I hope you like it. I meet with your new guest next day, next topic. Then Kadala office. Thank you, sir, for giving me time.
Thank you for doing what you